Fueled by Deathcast.
Basically, you go to what they call a spotting session. So they do like a what they call a locked version, which means we're not going to change it anymore. Okay. There's no more editing. Like, this is it.
Right. Yeah.
They have a time code stamped on it, and they'll say like, and then you'll sit in a room with like whoever's the most music focused guy, whether it's a producer or the director, or typically not the director, but usually like a producer or the creator or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you'll all sit in a room and you'll basically watch the episode, and then you take notes and you go by the time code and you just say like, and they'll temp in a lot of stuff. Like the editors, when they're editing, they'll put in like temporary music,
like clips and stuff to like
because
give you an idea, give you a starting point.
Yeah, because the dude will say like, the creator comes in and says, my overall tone for F is for Family is, all takes place in the 70s. I want blah blah blah, but I want
a lot of wah pedals.
Yeah, but I want also like like orchestrated stuff, because one of the guys, the co-creator, was from The Simpsons, so he likes a lot of like actual orchestration and shit. So and they'll come in, they'll say this is the vibe overall, and the editors usually have like big libraries and drives full of all kinds of music, and they'll find stuff and they'll source stuff, and so then they'll just put in a bunch of stuff, in scenes, and you'll watch it, and then they'll say like, oh, this is good, except it's too schmaltzy, or this is too dramatic, or this gives away the fact that this guy's gonna lose his dog or whatever. And so then you just sit there and you take notes, and it's like, oh, you want it to start at 11:33, and you go and you sit there and you write all this shit down, and then you go back to your place and you make a list of like, okay, these are all the scenes, and you just start knocking down the list. And the first season we did it all together, and now it's because everyone's trying to get more work and do other things too, so it's like, I mean, we talk on the phone, me and Vince, but we just basically, we get the list, we do the spotting session, and then we just say like, okay, I'll do 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, and 12, whatever, and then he'll be like, okay, cool, or well, what I want to do this one, and then that's it, and then I'll just do it all here.
So you kind of split up the work with him,
yeah,
and you do it all here.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's really cool. Is it any different because of the medium? It's an animated show, so it's like, are the cues a lot shorter? Like, because it's
not necessarily. Yeah. I mean, sometimes, like for instance, this is like a pool party, and they want, they're like, oh, we need something that sounds like the Beach Boys.
Oh my God, is this from the 3rd season?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we'll definitely cut this out.
But
so
this is so cool for me right now.
So like, I'll get like a master. I'll get like the whole episode, right? And then I'll say like, I'll get this lit. Am I giving you too much detail and drawing this out too much?
No, not at all.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm really curious about this.
Okay, so I'll show you. Wait.
No, this is very exciting for us.
Okay, so this is, for instance, 308. Okay, so for instance, this is the sheet. These are all the cues from episode 8 of the 3rd season, 308.
All right.
So there's 26 pieces of music. Now, some of them are, this one is almost a minute. This one's almost 42 seconds. There's some that are like 5 seconds long. There's some that are, this one's 20 seconds. This one's, some are 2 minutes. Sometimes they're 3 minutes.
Wow.
Sometimes there's one here. Where is it? There's like a long one because it's like at a cocktail party. So it's basically just the background music. But right here, cocktail party 320. So this one's 2.5 minutes, and it's just like lounge music at a cocktail party. Yeah. So this is basically, it's a pool party, and they wanted something that sounds like the Beach Boys, right? So then they'll have all the notes. It's like, here's a start time, here's the end time that matches with that time code. Yeah. And then it'll say like source from speakers, bad Indian music, or this one just says radio's on happy rock music, mid 60s vibe, but in the notes it said Beach Boys.
So do you put the effects on it to make it sound like it's coming from an old radio here? Or is
No,
somebody else do
because
that?
that's a music editor.
Okay.
Because typically, because if I do that, then it's stuck like that.
Yeah.
Right,
And
that
then they
makes
can't
sense.
Right.
affect it.
Okay.
So I usually just,
Send raw tracks.
yeah. So
the
then
most part.
this is, so like this is the scene with just what's in there. There's no, I didn't think they temped any music. But like, oh yeah, that's the temp music. And that's,
Look, Otto, I'm pruny like you.
Oh, yes. Oh, look how long I can hold my breath.
Hey,
Frank, good to see you.
all right, so that's that. And then I'll do this. So I did this.
That's so awesome.
And then with no vocals and
Yeah.
Yeah.
so basically, so that's it. So
That's so cool. So you must pull from a lot of different influences
yeah, for
throughout
sure.
your timeline.
Yeah, and they have a lot of stuff that they want, you know, like as far as like specifics. Like
Yeah.
with that, they're like, "Oh, we want the Beach Boys," or with, you know, I've heard, you know, there's this kid in it now that plays guitar, and he's like, they're like, "Oh, we want like, you know, Hendrixy kind of stuff," or we want the song in the background of on Vic's radio station to be like an Allman Brothers song, or
Right.
we want, and they're like the one guy, Mike Price, who's the other co-creator who still works on The Simpsons.
Yeah,
he's a
yeah.
writer, and he is very of that that Simpsons mindset.
Mhm.
So he's very like, you know, he'll say like, "Oh, I want this thing, the gossamer wings," and like a lot of like very, you know, eclectic, but also like, you know, old standards that half of them I don't know, you know, but my
Yeah.
buddy Vince knows, you know,
Yeah.
or like we need this thing from, you know, whatever. And so like Dave Garibaldi, blah blah blah,
Right,
whatever
right.
it is,
Yeah.
you know, and so it's cool. So it's like they're very, it's varied, and it's cool because you have to write in a different way. You know, you have to
Yeah.
write for the emotional effect of a scene,
Yeah.
you know, which is totally different than writing, you know, and it's taken me a long time to get out of the way, you know, because I came in as a guitar player, and it's like, but when I did that first show, I was doing a lot of stuff with, you know, not synths, but, you know, like a lot of just pads and like
MIDI.
yeah, and like a
stuff,
lot of MIDI
yeah.
stuff, and like not playing any guitar. And I did a show because like Wild West, which is Vince Vaughn's company that does this show, I did this show called Sullivan and Son that was like on, it was like 3 seasons. It was it was like Cheers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was a comedy, and you know, like I didn't play any guitar on that show except for like 2 cues, and I just did like, I got a mandolin and I learned how to play a bunch of chords, and you know, wrote every cue like with mandolin, and
Awesome.
you know, Vince did accordion, and it was like accordion because we did the theme song, and they're like, we want every piece of music on the show to sound like that band was playing the music.
Okay.
Oh my god.
And so it was like accordion, drums.
It's almost like acting at that point.
Yeah.
You have to like put yourself in somebody else's shoes and act like them, but you're doing it musically.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
But you're acting like yourself, acting like someone.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's great, man.